The West Virginia Mountaineers played in the second overtime in as many days, and I'm just going to come out and say it. They got freaking hosed. We're going to talk about it. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. My profile didn't change, unfortunately. Well, that's frustrating. Hold on just a second here. I'll do this all over again. I just changed it literally right before we came on. I don't understand why it didn't do that. I don't even ever have it on this profile, so that's odd. But give me 1 second, guys. Very, very frustrating already start here. West Virginia loses the game 79-70. There it went. It just delayed for whatever reason. I have no clue why. Okay. So let me start that over again. West Virginia got hosed, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick around.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, guys. Meant to say that as well. This is Locked On West Virginia. I am Mountaineer Paul, and I am the host. Thank you for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. Brought to you by FanDuel, guys. Spend $5. If you win, you get 150 in bonus bets. It's pretty simple. Go to FanDuel.com to get started. Pretty easy stuff. Well, I have a lot to say about this game. I'm going to try to keep it pretty quick. It's Thanksgiving. I know everybody has a lot to do today. I don't expect a large crowd in here. West Virginia deserves to be in the championship game. Louisville, they have a couple good players. I tell you what, man, I dislike somebody. I can't think of the person I dislike more than the prior guy. Somebody said he looks like an albino Pete Davidson. I like that. I think that's what I'm going to stick with. He was extremely annoying to watch. I don't know. There's just something about him. I don't know if it was the way his hair looked, the way he looked, the way he acted. It just really drive me nuts all day long. Chucky Hepburn had 20 points at the free throw line, which is like just insanity. I can't even believe that game ended that way. The way they let everything go in the first, like, how inconsistent can you be? Honestly, the way they let everything go in the first half, I thought, okay, this favors us. They're going to let us play, right? And then it changed in the second half, whistle after whistle after whistle, to where we had 4 straight offensive fouls at one point in time. Insanity. Louisville took a shot 3 times as many free throws as West Virginia, despite having shot more threes than West Virginia. That just doesn't happen very often. Chucky Hepburn slipped and fell at the end of the game, and we got a foul called on us. I mean, he literally slipped on the floor, and we got a foul called on us. Tucker DeVries' foul, it was literally straight up and down. Like, I don't ever gripe about officials. It usually goes both ways. But this was bad for us. As yesterday was good for us. I bet it was pretty close down the middle. Both teams had calls. I don't know, man. This was a really, really badly officiated game, and I don't know if having West Virginia in the finals was a fear for – I hate to get into conspiracy theories, but I think about that kind of stuff. Like, Louisville's a blue blood – either they're a blue blood or they're a fringe blue blood program, and they were on the border of being in the final against either Oklahoma or Arizona. And if Oklahoma wins, then you got a West Virginia-Oklahoma final. And I think they wanted to avoid that. People, I love to be wrong about that. But I mean, that's just partially how my head works. West Virginia's got some rising stars. Obviously, I think Javon Small has just taken another step towards what he really is. Last year he scored 15 a game, which was great. But this year, wow. I mean, he scored close to 30 in both games back to back. eight assists, 7 rebounds, almost had a triple-double for the first time in the Bahamas tournament since the 70s. Toby Okani was solid today. He showed up. He had a couple bad plays, but he really looked like he was getting a little bit more comfortable in the offense. I felt that was important because we need him going forward. Uh, Monty Hansberry was extremely good again. I didn't have him pegged as being our second best player coming into the year. Outside of that, we got no help from anybody else. Even Tucker has had a bad couple day stretch. I don't want to say bad. I want to say he just had a bad day today. And yesterday wasn't great for him by his standards. Uh, you don't get anything from Yesupu, Tenor, Andre, Powell had 1-3. You can't only have your starting five contribute and be successful in a season. We have to have help from other people. Now, with Tenor and Powell, I think, this was two extremely high-level basketball games, and you just hope that they grow up a little bit faster as the season rolls because they're going to have to. We've got to have help for our guys, So, hey, Ron, did you not listen? I said Louisville. What an idiot. Let's ban Ron since he was in here yesterday talking crap too. Okay. I clearly said Louisville is a fringe blue blood, and he tried to turn it around. For those of you listening on podcasts, I do direct my comments towards the chat on YouTube sometimes, but I try not to. I think, there's a couple ways to look at this game. Obviously, West Virginia ran out of gas too. But I mean, with Tucker went out, that really changed the game. And that's, in my opinion. So it just gave Louisville that extra spark to pull away at the end, plus the fouls. Hepburn went to the free throw line at one point 5 straight times on offense for them. I mean, how can you bail? They were bailed out time and time again. Our half-court defense was really, really good in both games. I have a really, really good feeling about our defense moving forward. We rely way too heavily on Javon Small. If something ever happens to him, we're screwed. I don't think KJ's ready to – he can't play at that level yet. Maybe he would grow into it. But that's why a lot of people think, when you factor in that Hansberry will be back next year, Sincere will be back next year, Andre will be back next year, and a few other players. This team could be a year away from being really, really good, but it's good this year too. I think this is a team that's got a really good shot to make the tournament. I've been saying it all year. People told me I was crazy. Well, what do you have to say now? I think they've proven against two really high-quality opponents, even though Louisville was picked. What was it? I mean, here's the thing. Louisville was picked 11th. We were picked 13th. Neither is going to finish there. Neither is going to finish there. That's for sure. Louisville's obviously a lot better than 11th in the ACC, and so is West Virginia in the Big 12. So we're going to struggle with teams like Louisville because of the length. That's really what hurt us today. They just had a little bit too much length for us, and they were able to bother our shooters, which is why we had to rely on Javon so much. But they were jumping that screen on whenever they would set screens, they were jumping Javon, obviously, which is very similar to what Bob Huggins used to do. It's very similar to what he used to do, which is it can lead to an erratic style of play, especially when you don't have a big that can run at the rim that you can just throw it to. So that didn't help either. Obviously, the Reid Smith player, he's a good player. I mean, he's not any good outside of shooting threes, but He hit a few today that were crippling as far as on offensive rebounds, inside out. It's the highest percentage three you can have is an inside out three, and he definitely did that. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, guys, this team has made huge improvements. I'm going to give I'm going to talk about that and give my final thoughts. Stick around, guys. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode is brought to you by FanDuel, guys. Get started with $150 if you bet $5 and win, guys. Right now, new customers can bet that $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view the live play-by-play, and so much more. On the same page you place your bets, all you have to do is visit FanDuel.com to get started. You'll get started with that $150 in bonus bets once you win that first $5 at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. So that was 2 overtime games in a row, like somebody below was saying there. And I just think this team lost. They ran out of gas, too, partially, especially the starting five. But Amani Hansberry, these 2 games has really broken out and become something that I don't think anybody but Darren DeVries saw coming. If you remember, Darren showed supreme confidence in him in the offseason. And there just wasn't enough tape on him to say otherwise. And his first couple games were iffy at best. But he can score inside. He can score outside. He's good around the rim. He is going to be an all Big 12 player at some point in time. I think, it's pretty obvious. He's not even anywhere near his best yet. Just imagine what another year or two rounding out that shooting form is going to be. He's going to get 7 figures at some point in time. I mean, he's going to earn that. And it's going to be great. Tucker has to be more consistent. I think he's getting doubled a lot. People aren't letting him just get comfortable in games. He's going to have games where he's comfortable. He's going to have games where he gets his shot. Teams are being extremely physical with him too. And just remember this, guys. He just had shoulder surgery in the offseason, and he only had a couple months to rehab that. So it's not fair to expect him. And I'm not saying that he is or isn't. I'm just saying generally, like, there's no way he can be 100% yet. He's good enough to play. But as far as, like, muscle memory, getting that shooting form back 100%, I don't think he's quite there yet. I don't have any inside knowledge into whether it is or isn't. I'm just making an observation. I think we have to give Tucker some time because he does so much other stuff. Gets his hands on balls. He blocks shots at a really high level. He steals balls. I mean, he really is good with getting his hands on the basketball. So he's really a glue player. Like, that's what I call him now. He's like a skilled Nathan Adrian. That's what he is. So, I mean, I disagree, Anthony. Look, and I got the stats for you if you want to talk about it, but you won't be biased, obviously. So they shot 3 more times as free throws as West Virginia. Chucky Hepburn almost had 20 points from the 3-throw line. At one point going to the line on 5 straight possessions. So, I mean, call that what you will. So, if you think he got fouls called on him where he slipped. Nobody made contact with him. It was ridiculous. Like, it truly was ridiculous. It was just missed call after missed call after missed call. And there were even a couple calls that went our way that I was like, what are they looking at today? Like, they even made bad calls on both sides, but Louisville got way more than us. I'll tell you what the actual free throw disparity was. It was, let's see. They shot Louisville had almost 30 points in free throws. West Virginia had 9. There's your difference in the ball game. Obviously. They did out rebound West Virginia by a large margin, especially the offensive side of the ball. Defensive rebounds, West Virginia was pretty good. They only lost that one by 2. West Virginia had 6 blocks, 5 steals. Teams were right neck and neck with 13 and 14 turnovers. West Virginia was called for 30 personal fouls to Louisville's 15. So, you know, and here's the thing: West Virginia was up in the game, right? So you don't get back in the game, to my opinion, without all those foul calls at the end of the day. So that's just how I look at it. Tucker got hit in the mouth. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. It was by that albino Pete Davidson prior. That's definitely who did it. So he's gonna get his jaw broke by somebody this year. He gets in everybody's space, and somebody's gonna eventually just give him an elbow uh, because he's just too up in people's faces, in my opinion. But uh, obviously not a fan of his. West Virginia's field goal percentage was great, 44%, 33% from three to Louisville's 25%. Louisville attempted 28 threes on the day, which is insane, right? It's a lot. It's been a tough one. I really thought West Virginia was going to win this game a couple of different times. They were up double digits several different times and just could not put them away. Louisville obviously played extremely hard too. But here's my thing, man. I think this really is going to prepare this team for the long haul. This team's got a lot more fight and grit to it than I would have thought. So let's see what this team does. Obviously, the schedule we'll play the loser of today's game, right, between Oklahoma and Auburn, or no, Oklahoma and Arizona. Is that? Yeah, that's who we'll play. So we may get an early Big 12 look. We'll definitely get somebody for the Big 12, but we maybe get an early Oklahoma. That's probably going to be who we play next. If I'm Darren DeVries, that's who I prepare for first. And then if you get Arizona, I mean, you got to do a second scout on them too. So, but yeah, I would have. I like Darren DeVries over Pat Kelsey for sure. And I think that considering what Louisville had to work with financially compared to West Virginia's put in a really good product on the floor. I mean, they had no money this year. They spent it all the year before. So what they were able to go out and get, you went out and got a guy that was playing 7 minutes a game from Illinois that's giving you 19 a game the last two games. Sincere Harris is an incredible on-ball defender that has a long way to go offensively. And then you've got two freshmen that have contributed at a high level at different games this year that are only going to get better. They just couldn't play these two games. It's like, in my opinion, it was just a little bit too high level for KJ and JP to play significant minutes. But I think West Virginia, if you come out of this 2-1, especially, that's going to be great. Then you're talking about, okay, we've got a legitimate shot at the tournament. You're going to get 2 quad one wins no matter what if you beat Gonzaga and Oklahoma back to back. Or, well, not back to back, but 2 out of 3 games. So there's a lot to play for. And, especially if they win the next game, I think you've really got to consider that West Virginia is in a good place for the tournament. So that's going to be fun. Up next, guys, we'll put a bow on this and talk about Saturday's game and get back into this Neil Brown stuff a little bit. Stick around, guys. It's Locked On West Virginia. And we are back. So I guess just to just summarize everything, I really felt like we got hosed in the game. It was a really frustrating thing to watch, but take positives from this game. I think we played well the last 2 games, and that's with Tucker not being at his 100% best offensively yet, and defensively he's impacted the game just incredibly. Like he could be our best defender at times, which is mind blowing. How smart he is on defense. Like there were plays today where I was like, does he have? Tucker's got one of the highest IQs I've ever seen from a basketball player on defense, offense, anywhere you go. Like the way he's able to manipulate passing lanes and jump into passing lanes is elite, man. Like, he really makes it hard on people. He knows where people are going to, yeah, coach's kid. He knows where people are going to go with the ball, and he's just always ready for it. So he makes up for his athleticism deficit by being so much smarter, which actually makes him faster. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, look, like I said, Hepburn went to the line at one point in time, 5 straight possessions. They shot 3 times as many free throws as West Virginia, while shooting less threes. So I think you come away with this thinking you were probably, at least in my opinion, the better team. West Virginia led by double digits at multiple points in the game, and then in your second straight overtime game in as many days, you run out of gas. You got players fouling out. I feel good about this. So I know the players aren't going to feel great about it, but you're talking about a team that's playing 12 brand new players in a tournament for the first time. They're going to be prepared for the future so well. And let's see what the next game brings. I'm excited to see how they rebound from this. And I know it's going to be a great teaching point for Coach DeVries. And that's really all I got, guys. I think we come away with this mostly impressed. You can't beat Gonzaga in a tournament and come away with your head down. You believe you can beat anybody on any given night at this point in time. So let's be proud of the players, guys, and keep supporting. And have a great Thanksgiving today. I hope all you guys get to spend time with your friends or family or your loved ones, spouses, or whoever you have there. I'm spending mine mostly alone today, but I do have an event planned to go to on Saturday. So that'll be fun. I'll just play some video games. It's no big deal. Play some, what do I play? I don't know. I might play some Baldur's Gate 3. Seems like a game. I just downloaded that. I'm going to see what it's all about. But let's get off the video games, guys. And I will see you guys later today. I actually did a Texas Tech preview with Chris Level, who is the voice of Texas Tech. He's one of their play-by-play guys, and he also works for Locked On. So we had a great conversation, and I'll be posting that video up here in just about an hour or two. So be looking for that, and hopefully you support that video. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great, 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 great holiday, and thank you guys so much for joining. Is that the only thing you can reference? Because you had a 7-footer out there. I mean, you're going to tell me a 6-foot guard is going to get a push off. Come on, man. That guy flopped. It's crazy. Happy Thanksgiving, guys, to you and yours, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.